Sup? How you doing?
That.
Full disclosure, I'm really afraid that this is going to go everywhere.
Good thing it's just my house.
No, it's okay.
No, she's good.
I have it. I brought one with me.
She has her little.
God forbid I get
emotional
condensation.
Support paper towel. We got that paper towel from Costco money.
The real reason why I brought it is because it's a skinny can that doesn't fill in the whole cup holder. So I always put a paper towel around it so it doesn't flop over. Like it's a skinny, tall can. So when I drive, it falls out of the holder.
Is it open while you're driving?
No, but if it falls out and it rolls around, then it's more likely that when I do open it, it'll go everywhere.
I'm going to cut up your brain.
It's very logical thinking to me.
Witness me.
Furiosa night.
Should we just start with there's like 3 super chats?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one.
It's Mike.
We'll read it and then we'll get to our thoughts later.
Oh yeah. Happy Friday, everyone. I just saw Furiosa last night and absolutely adored it. Looking forward to this discussion as there's a lot to unpack in this 2.5-hour epic. I can easily see this sticking around in my top 10. So if you're here, you've clicked on this video and you've seen the title of the episode and also the thumbnail. We are going to do a Furiosa spoiler review. If you have not seen it, you can still enjoy 3/4 of the show because we're going to save the spoiler review for the very, very end, and we will give you a very clear warning before we ruin anything Furiosa related. So you are safe. Thank you, Mike. All right.
Next one.
Oh,
there's 4 now.
Vincent. Hello. Vincent also loved Furiosa so much. It's getting a lot of.
You're not alone.
What is it at on Rotten Tomatoes?
I can do that right now. I'm
Okay,
texting somebody.
you do that
very quickly.
Oh, okay. You want to share? You want to share with the class?
Yeah, it's Micah.
Oh,
sorry, Loop.
Hi.
More
Furiosa love. Mike Joyce says, really enjoyed Furiosa. But it needed more Hemsworth. He was gone for too much of the movie. He was amazing. I agree. He was amazing. I thought it was still I thought it was a good balance, but
we'll talk about that.
I think more of Chris Hemsworth in that particular role would not have been a bad thing.
Furiosa. Where is it sitting? It is at 89. Oh, there you go. 89%. I mean,
good.
that's solid.
It's pretty good. Vincent says, hey, Perri and Matt, what's up? Just saw Furiosa. Keep wanting to say Furiosa.
Furiosa.
Too much CGI for my blood, but still good. And I love Anya Taylor-Joy. Total praiseworthy.
I'm holding all my comments until we have our conversation.
Yeah,
I'm happy to read these now.
I agree with some of what you said, Victor, for what that's worth right now. If you want to pick some comments with your weirdo reverse scroll, you're more than welcome to.
This is up is down, down is up.
Let's take a poll. Everybody in the live chat, I want you to tell me, I feel like we need to simplify this.
Yeah, go ahead. What are you trying to get to?
Never mind. I was about to ask you all to submit emojis. Just tell me if you use a reverse scroll or if that makes you a monster. I think it makes him a monster.
Why? I'm used to reverse scroll. It's always been my laptop thing, so now it's just common to me.
It makes you a monster.
My up is down too. Yeah, exactly. Up is down, down is up.
Literally,
up is down, down is
K.
Up.
But even the way you wrote it makes no sense, and it proves that that is not the better way to do it.
When I play video games, up is up, down is down. But if I'm on my laptop scrolling, down is up is down. It's clear. It's very clear.
If I fly a plane, up is down and down is up. But
well,
this is a computer.
Add that one to the repertoire. Then I'll get my pilot's license, and then I'll add one more.
You have one person on your side.
Yeah, only
Mike.
two.
Mike's got both. You're not flying an airplane. Fix your shit.
Maybe this is training. Maybe someday when they need a pilot and I'm the only one available.
Yeah.
Up is down and down is up.
It'll be like a zombie apocalypse scenario, and the only reason we could trust Matt to fly the plane is because he reverse scrolled.
Somebody else tries and they're like, I keep going down, but I keep pushing up. I don't get it. This is where I come in because I know up is down and down is up.
I'm glad we've isolated your zombie apocalypse survival skill.
I was gonna say I have more to offer, but I don't think I do.
What do you have? You're a runner. That's what you have to offer.
I have endurance.
You can cook.
I was gonna say I have endurance. I can cook. What else can I do in the survival?
I have endurance. I can't cook. I am fair. I am strategic. Like I do. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am. I do. I feel like I would make some good decisions, and
Yeah.
I own a crossbow.
Yeah, but you would eat nothing, so you'd be dead in 3 days.
But like, if I was stuck with you, you'd cook.
Yeah, but like the chicken would be too
I
greasy,
can also,
or like or
I
there'd be
can
too much fat on the
also-
meat, or
but I can also last on leafy greens and stuff where
That is
others
true.
cannot. So maybe I would outlast everybody because my body.
the only
is
way you're
already-
surviving the apocalypse is if you're barricaded in an apartment with just boxes of Vans waffles and
boxes
that's
of
it.
Vans waffles and
Yeah.
jars of peanut
Mhm.
butter. As long as I always have a jar of peanut butter
Yeah.
with me, I will live.
Yeah, if we're
I will
doing some
live.
kind of like wilderness survival, no. But if you're doing some city survival, yeah, I believe.
I
Yeah.
did an interview with the casting directors for Squid Game: The Challenge,
Mhm.
and they didn't answer it this way. I kind of want to like save their answer for when I release the interview, but I had asked them like during the casting process, what was the thing that they would tell potential people they would cast in the
Yeah.
show that would make those people go, uh-oh, like I don't know if I could do that. Maybe the show's not for me. Because like the thing that I thought
This is
about
fair,
was that
yeah.
none of them were allowed to bring any products in. And I know it might not sound like a big deal, like maybe to a dude, but
No,
could
like,
you
yeah, I
imagine
wanna-
like wanting to do your hair when you're on a Netflix?
You're literally
like,
talking to me, and I have like specific hair routine for
I
when I
guess
don't wear
so.
a hat. Yeah,
but,
yeah.
but like they're not, they weren't, at least that season. Maybe they'll change it for season 2. I don't know. But they weren't allowed to bring in like any of their
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
Like it's fascinating to me on TikTok watching the competitors go through their like their
Fair comment.
skincare routine
fine.
hacks and stuff. Like they did some like wild things.
This is valid.
I
When I do
believe
my
that.
hair, I take time.
What do you do to your hair?
First, like I have to blow dry it and get it in the right volume and everything, and then I have the spray that I use, and then I have the putty that I use.
You should do a get ready with me on TikTok. I would
Sure.
watch that.
From next CCAs. Next CCAs will do that shit.
I'm gonna
Let's
hold you to that.
talk about this really quickly. Did you see this?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Really?
that was
Interesting.
announced later in the day.
Okay.
Bloody was exclusive on that. They broke it, and apparently we are getting a reboot. I don't think they said remake, so I think we are getting a reboot of My Bloody Valentine. And the sentiment is always like, I mean, I think my statement on this is My Bloody Valentine and the remake are top 3 original remakes I've ever seen. I love them both. The original is one of my favorite slashers. The remake is one of my favorite 2000s remake slashers, and also just a great fun movie. Best usage of 3D in a theater I've ever seen. And I'm nervous as fuck that Blumhouse is doing this. That I'm at the point I can no longer. I was never 100% pro Blumhouse on a lot of things. I think the way they make movies gives you a certain kind of product that I've enjoyed many of them. I'm not going to say like they make bad movies or something like that, but what I don't love is they have gone so hard into the existing IP world so many times now, and they have not shown any capacity to have a real vision for them.
I'll disagree with
I
that.
like the first Halloween.
I can isolate the offenders. Like I know
Yeah.
what turned you off
Mhm.
with that, but they they do have some hits in that respect.
They have a few, but they're still Blumhouse movies, and I think the essence of both of these My Bloody Valentine movies, I don't think Blumhouse can pull off. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm really fucking wrong, but I'm not super enthused to hear they are doing this. Let me put it that way.
I won't be enthused until I hear who's involved in it,
Yep, 100%.
who's directing it.
100%.
Because I also think that that's part of the problem. There's certain like Blumhouse director pairings where I kind of like know like the texture or lack thereof in the movie that they're going to wind up making.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
But
I'm hesitant to use this as a reference, but you know how like James Wan gave The
Fuck.
Conjuring.
Get him out of Blumhouse. Jesus Christ.
You know how James Wan gave The Conjuring like a style and an
Yeah.
atmosphere and a feel. I feel like that's what Blumhouse has done, but with a certain group of directors, but like not like Conjuring style. It's
Yeah.
something that feels lifeless, feels too extreme, because I don't think that's always the case, but it feels like Hollywoodized and like too glossy, if that makes sense.
Yes, that does make sense to me. I feel like they make a more studio friendly, mass marketable horror product. And it makes them money. I enjoyed things like Megan. I had fun with that stuff. But I don't think there's ever been a time recently where a Blumhouse horror film has been in my top 10. I always walk out and go, cool, that's a movie. Like that was fun. I had fun with that. But then if we talk about, again, other reboots that they've done with directors that I love, I know I'm going to get yelled at for this one, but specifically like Black Christmas did nothing for me.
I didn't like that movie.
But I love those creators, the people behind it. I have absolutely adored what they've done. And they were working within a Blumhouse house, let's say, just literally like you're in the house of Blum. You have to do what he says and you have to do what the production says. So I'm fucking nervous.
How is it this difficult to look up every Blumhouse feature film? Like, look, they only have undated and upcoming. Oh, wait, I think I found
the film.
All right, ignore me. It's my fault. Wikipedia is fine.
Why does it say? So I'm plugged in with our Ethernet, but it's giving me the dot.
Don't mess with it until someone says, like, has anyone commented that like we're fuzzy or anything? Yeah, just ignore it.
Like here's legitimately one.
Well, The Exorcist was a swing and miss.
Like even Invisible Man for me was good. It was really good, but it still didn't like it's still like a 3.
No, that's like top tier. Like that and 2018's Halloween is like top tier stuff for me.
No, that's a 3.5.
I mean,
I actually like Halloween more. I think the OG not the OG. I mean, in the Blumhouse.
Firestarter was a big miss.
Good God, Firestarter was dog shit.
Not
Holy
great.
Fuck, that was
not
bad.
Great. That one really disappointed
Upgrade was
me.
technically Blumhouse, so I will give them. I think Upgrade is the best thing they might have done.
I have different opinions on that. I think.
Oh, I love that. I love.
Upgrade. I think this is interesting. I can't believe I've never thought about this before. I thought The Hunt was great. Not that that's a remake.
The Hunt is, The Hunt's good.
Fantasy Island wasn't terrible, but it like wasn't.
It
wasn't good.
Fantasy Island was bad.
It wasn't that bad.
Jeff Wadlow belongs nowhere near.
Wadlow.
I don't give a fuck.
You should.
That's fair.
I like the Craft Legacy a lot. I love it. We're just like sitting here being like, I like this and I didn't like that.
Technically, Paranormal Activity is probably my favorite. Like, if I'm being super honest, because that's where it started. That's Blumhouse, technically, right?
Ma is so good. I'm just like listing things that I love now. Ma, Cam.
I always forget Black Klansman is them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's also like the you have to look at what Jason Blum as an individual
Whiplash.
has produced too.
Yeah. Whiplash, like dude's got an Oscar. Belko. I had fun with Belko.
I like Belko. I think for Blumhouse, it'd be a tie for the first Insidious and the first Sinister movie.
The Gallows, hell yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's not.
You like The Gallows?
I'm fine on it. Yeah, no, I'm positive on it. The Gallows is one of those 3 out of 5s that everyone's way too mean to. I'm like, it's a movie. Stop it.
It's a movie. Yeah. I think
Tooth Fairy. I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna.
I think it's Paranormal Activity, Insidious, and Sinister as my top 3 Blumhouse movies ever, and they'll change order. But not so far behind is probably 2018 Halloween and The Invisible Man at least.
Upgrade's in there for me.
I like Upgrade a lot too.
See, I love Upgrade.
This is fun. I feel like I need to do a formal Blumhouse ranking.
Stupid ass fucking ranking. I know.
What are your favorite Blumhouse movies? Upgrade. Yeah, that's a good trio right there.
Totally Killer was that was Prime. Wait,
Totally Killer was Prime with Blumhouse.
That was with Blumhouse.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm fairly certain that was with Blumhouse.
That's fair.
I'll double check before I give anyone wrong information.
I just like there's just so much Dookie though.
Dookie. Yes, Totally Killer was Blumhouse with that's Amazon MGM Studios. Yep. I mean, that's another thing. I feel like a lot of times it also comes down to who they're
here's the thing. I think
company-wise.
When Blumhouse takes risks, I'm way more interested in the
Nanny.
stuff like.
Sorry, I just got really excited. Nanny is
that's
great.
The Prime Video one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nanny is good. I do agree with that.
Why are you looking at me like that?
Well, because on the screen you still have your phone, so I was about to yell at you to put the phone away.
Oh, well, I want to make sure I get all the good titles.
That is true. Like, listen, I'm not going to take away Insidious. I'm not going to take away a bunch of those. Like, they have made some really good movies, and they take big risks with directors like Juan and directors who can pull it off. But I just feel like their recent output has not been the same as their prior output. Let's say. I think it has become more commodified and like.
I'm not trying to make excuses for them because I do think what you're getting at is kind of accurate. But the other problem is or something that contributes to that particular issue is the fact that they're making more than ever now compared to what they once used to do. And like, I think that's a problem that literally every single company is going through.
100%. Totally Killer's fine.
I love Totally Killer.
It's
I think
fine.
it's great. I'm with you.
Justice for Logan Marshall Green, though. I think Upgrade, he is fucking crushing it. He does such a good job with that role.
He needs more attention than he gets in general.
Agreed, 100%. The Invitation. Listen, we know our stance is on The Invitation.
All I want, if I could snap my fingers right now and manifest a franchise from a single horror movie, I might say I want an Invitation franchise, and I want it to be anthology format, and I want to see that night play out in different houses.
Yeah, they set themselves up for a real good kind of.
Oh, it was that ending. That
I know.
That is one of my favorite endings, I think, of all time.
And to give Karen Kusama some like longevity with a franchise, that would have been cool. Keep her working.
Whether she directs more
or other people.
or finds like people she trusts to direct the other and stuff. Like I actually do like the idea of her functioning in like a producerial capacity and letting others do it. That's so that like they could like morph it and put their touch on it. And that way we end up with a franchise with a whole bunch of movies with very different feels.
It's the same thing we're talking about with Evil Dead right now. Like we talked about it, and I love that. I love other people coming in and doing that. I made my friend John watch Infested because he was like,
I still don't watch Infested.
So John just had his second child, and he has to fit in horror movies very cautiously, let's say, and also like very not as much as he could. So he texted me.
Tiny children can't watch horror movies? Why?
Well, he's always busy, let's say. He's always kind of busy with something. But yeah, he texted me today, and he's like, I just figured out I still have Shudder. I haven't seen movies in fucking forever. What's a good horror movie to watch? And I was like, do Infested. Jump on it. Do it. He did it, and he texts me, and he's just like, somebody should turn this into a Halloween Horror Nights maze, and I would never go in it. And I like literally, I was like, this would make probably one of the best Halloween Horror Nights mazes, and I wouldn't step a single fucking foot in there. No, I wouldn't go anywhere near it.
I'll go in there by myself.
What? Having seen Infested,
I'll go in there by myself with my little Dixie cups, and I'll try to take all the spiders out of the maze into.
Have you seen Infested, Perri?
No,
they're not the size of Dixie cups. I want to let you know that.
Were you with us for Halloween Horror Nights this year?
No. I was at TIFF.
So they had the studio lot was called Bugs, and there was an entire spider section.
Fuck yeah!
It was all cheap, knockoff, terrible spiders. Yeah. It did not matter. I had my hand had a fistful of Matt's shirt. I looked at the ground. I was like, walk me through. If anything touches me, I will punch you and it and everything in my vicinity. Get me through this.
They were like pipe cleaner and fuzzball spiders, and Amelia like, yeah, no, I like, yeah. You
know, you remember it was literally like 3 weeks ago when there was the bee incident, the wasp incident during the Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes Ladies Night. I have not heard the end of it, and someone who shoots those interviews made a joke. He's like, I should like dangle something. Like, I'm like, yes, you should, because it would make viral content. I will sacrifice myself for that.
You should watch Infested.
Yeah.
It's no joke one of my favorite horror movies I've seen in a long time.
I told the Slack team this. I feel like I've like semi gotten my head above water so I can watch a couple things for fun now, and I'm very excited to have that.
Did you see Stop Motion yet?
Yeah, fucking love stop motion. I saw for Fantastic Fest, and I interviewed the director. I really like that movie.
Fuck yeah. I just saw some too. I mean, yes, when it comes out in like that's September, October. I believe it's October.
I don't know that one.
I think it's October. Yeah, I will gladly talk about it. I'm sure I'll be writing about it somewhere. That's happening. Watch Infested. We have some more. Where do we leave off? I think Vincent's here.
Yeah, we got Victor's.
So this is back on Furiosa.
On the CGI, it was seamless to me. We will discuss that, Vincent. The movie Rabbit Hole did a great series on CGI. I
have not, so I will have to look into what that is. Edward. Have
either of you seen In a Violent Nature yet? I just saw it and surprised how much I liked it. Not usually a slasher fan. That's like another tie. Is that out?
No, 31st. Oh. So that's next week released on Shudder. No, it's going to theaters and Shudder, I believe. In any case,
I think you might be right.
It makes sense why you would like it not as a slasher fan, because like it is, again, I will bring up what everyone's saying. It's like Gus Van Sant doing a slasher. It's art house. It's weird. It takes a different approach to it, but it actually tries to like dissect the slasher genre in itself instead of just throwing tropes at a screen. So like there's a lot of good experimental stuff and a lot to appreciate about it. and a lot of people will still hate it. I mean, like that's just the kind of movie it is. It's,
Do you think I'm gonna like it?
I don't know. I actually, honestly, I think you will. I think you will find. I think you'll find the filmmaking aspects more engaging than other people, and like the technical ability of it, and like what it does. But yeah, it's a slasher from the slasher's point of view, and that's it. And the way the sound works with that, and the way things work with it, I think it's a worthy experiment. I think it's a very good movie. It doesn't break that like 4.5 star barrier for me, but it's right there.
Okay.
But again, one of the best kills of the year, hands down.
I'm gonna look up this information while you read this one.
Oh, the box office?
Yeah, I just want to see what the projections are.
It's around 40.
Wait, what? Fuck. Ooh, fuck. Yeah, that's not great.
Yeah, 31. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Furiosa 31 to 34.
That's disappointing.
Oh yeah. So a lot of people today were tweeting about
that's way lower than anything I would have predicted.
Is it gonna lose to Garfield?
Shit.
Furiosa was always gonna lose to Garfield.
It's a kids movie.
Yeah.
Those make bank.
I'm still reading about Furiosa.
It seems like Garfield doesn't have the fan. But
no. Well, maybe it could.
It could.
Garfield is showing 8 million today, 24 million for Friday through Sunday, and 30 to 32 for the 4-day weekend. So
it very well.
I mean, those numbers are mighty clutch.
Fury Field.
I'm just
Garfiosa.
Mad. I haven't seen Garfield. I can't judge it, but
it's dog shit. Oh my god!
I'm just like real mad about good, well-made movies not doing well at the box office. It really it enrages me.
Yeah, I agree. It's just I mean, like we can talk. I keep wanting to get to it, but like we'll talk about Furiosa when we get to Furiosa.
That's so disappointing.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's so disappointing.
It sucks because it does deserve more than that. That is, it really just all around. Yes, 100% agree with that. Yeah, I mean, like,
what's gonna change that?
I don't know. I think
Inside Out 2.
I don't know if movies will change that. I think it is a long-standing problem we have to face now. I think that is where we are. I can't deny it. John at Bloody Disgusting, John Squires, tweeted out the box office openings of every theatrical horror movie that's come out this year, and they're abysmal. Like compared to last year, like there has been a downtrend on the box office just across the board. And horror used to be one of the most dependable, but like I think the highest is The Strangers, and the highest opening was like 13, 14 or something like that. Yeah, like things like Imaginary, things like Blumhouse movies made fucking 8, 7.
Okay.
We're
I'm trying so hard not to be like a big bummer right now.
There are many factors. There is the theatrical experience, there is streaming, there is a list of factors leading. Things are more expensive.
I don't think Bad Boys Ride or Die is.
I don't think that's gonna break the bank.
Yeah. So there's that. There's that, and then June 7th is that's Bad Boys, and Deadpool, also limited watchers apparently.
Deadpool
yeah, but that's like we got a little ways to go. I feel like Box Office Mojo has a lot of this shit wrong. Inside Out 2, I do think could make and should make a decent chunk of change at the box office. Bike riders won't.
I'm still curious to see if the Strangers experience pays off for them. It like Strangers is the highest opening yet so far. It was 13, 14, I think.
Yeah, that.
But it got terrible reviews. I think this is the kind of
but enough people saw it.
Yeah, but enough people saw it in the sense that will they be turned off by this and not go to the next two? Like that's the thing. They saw the first one. But they held reviews long enough.
Exceeding expectations, regardless of the reviews. I don't know. I think it just speaks to like the inherent appeal in that concept. And I don't think that appeal is going anywhere.
I gotta find that tweet because the tweet was really interesting to me.
The box office tweet?
Oh, my mom texted and said our picture's blurry. So, for some reason, it's not picking up my Ethernet. I think I have to turn off my Wi-Fi.
Don't do it. Just don't do it.
What if I do it?
Don't do it because then it could cut the whole thing, and then I won't be able to get back into the studio. Just don't do it.
That is true too. Yeah, Mom, get better internet.
Sorry,
We talked about
Kathy, I love you.
this. We talked about this. I'm gonna find that tweet,
Toon
though,
Talk
because I do think
says,
it's interesting.
remember, a lot of this is because of the strikes. I don't know
I
if
think we're beyond
box
that.
office. I think
Yeah.
like the schedule, which I guess the schedule does,
I don't think the
impact
general
box
consumer
office.
cares enough about the strikes, and it's just we are in a bubble. I feel like when we talk about this stuff and when we talk about it with y'all, because you're paying attention to, if you're here listening to us, like we are in our own little universe in the film world doing this, and then when you get to the greater outside public, I feel like it just falls off a cliff. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff there where like a lot of the rhetoric from other people were kind of just like, well, just make movies then without the people striking. And like, that was more the general public. Like,
I don't think the strikes have a direct connection to things doing very poorly at the box office. I think like the big thing is, streaming and how it completely reshaped viewer habits. It just put us in a position where, and like, even in terms of my reaction just now being so sad about how certain movies have done at the box office this year, I just don't think that the numbers that we used to hit, the numbers that I used to use to base box office predictions on, I don't think those are viable whatsoever anymore.
Yeah.
Like, the sad truth, I think, is that this is the new norm.
Well, I also think streaming, and like I said before, we are also dealing with inflated prices for everything. It costs for a family to go see a kids movie or something like that nowadays. 2 kids, 2 parents, 100 easy. That's just for tickets. And then you have to factor in if kids want popcorn and shit.
They don't just want popcorn. Like, if my niece is any indication, they want like a snack from every category imaginable. And then they take one bite. Then they take one bite of the snack.
So like parents can't take their kids to the movies twice a weekend or something if there's 2 things they want to see, or like they can't go themselves later to see the R-rated. So like that's a factor. The experience is shit now. Like that's just what it is. Like I don't
think this has anything to do with like, I don't think overspending is making people turn away, but I do think that the overspending is making it impossible for theatrically released movies nowadays to recoup.
Yeah. All right. So horror releases, which again, horror is one of the most dependable at the box office. People have slayed. Horror releases for 2024 so far.
Oh, yikes.
Lisa Frankenstein, 3.6. These are all opening. These are all opening releases. Lisa Frankenstein, 3.6 mil. Immaculate, 5.3 mil. Tarot, 6.5 mil. The First Omen, 8.3 million. Imaginary, 9.9 million. Abigail, 10.2 million. Night Swim, 11.7 million. And Strangers Chapter 1, our new leader, at 11.8 million.
Wow.
But what percentage of those movies were good?
That's the
horror box office is not always
the most reliable in the box office, but we have in the past had stronger years
4
early on.
4.
What you just gave a list of mostly abysmal movies.
Abigail's
The Nun.
Abigail is fantastic.
Abigail's great.
The Nun is one of the most profitable controversial films and is one of the most hated by critics and audiences.
Right, because it was the first one in the controversy that was terrible. So everybody went to go
I don't think it was terrible.
We had faith in
I love
the
it.
universe.
I don't love it, but I don't think it's terrible.
I understand where you're coming from. I just don't think I think horror fans will see anything though, and they have been dependable in that way. Versus like horror films have been dependable at the box
those numbers are not that big though.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So this year is like an anomaly in that way. Like if we're under the 10 million and stuff like that. That's a stretch. I don't know.
Late Night with the Devil. I mean, so Late Night with the Devil wouldn't make that list, but I do think that's probably one of the biggest box office successes in the horror genre this year. I am looking Ed's right here. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how A Quiet Place does, because
that's a bigger.
That's got a very good chance of doing quite well. I love that franchise.
But yeah, out of the ones released so far, I would say there's 2 bangers there. Like right? I think if even.
Well, I mean, we know how we differ on First Omen and Immaculate, so let's include those. Let's just say they're both good. Abigail is good, and I also loved Lisa Frankenstein. I think that deserved a lot more credit than it got.
So yeah, like trying to, it's hard with the quality.
So roughly half of them.
That's fair. Yeah. No Conjurers, no nothing like that. Like no big stuff. I mean, these are more, I guess, going back to like originals versus like using old IP. It's weird because all the original stuff, like something like Lisa Frankenstein, something like Tarot and Immaculate, they're towards the bottom. Strangers Chapter 1, which is a bland as fuck rehash, done way worse.
I think
is
this
on top.
one is going in that pile.
The Watchers won't do shit.
Yeah,
the
in
Watchers is going to be
in
towards the
that
bottom.
smaller
Yeah,
zone.
I don't believe the Watchers does anything there. It's a really cool concept that I am hyped on, and we're also, you know, the summer of Shyamalan. Like,
Alien Romulus.
That's gonna break shit.
Yeah.
I don't think huge though. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think huge.
Oh no, I'm gonna disagree. I think that's gonna be a combination of epic franchise and horror lovers that turn up for shit colliding. I think that one's gonna do well.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I'm a big believer that that's gonna do well. I'm gonna just force it into existence.
Just putting that on the screen. Somebody keeps saying they recognize the voice yelling.
What else do we have to talk about?
Andrew said Amelia can win, and I said no.
Amelia can. Yeah. We just have to have a camera like in the corner of the room over there, like looking at that area. For those who don't know, it's just like a little couch area. That's all it is, and that could be like the guest couch, so you can see who's yelling from the couches over there. I think that'd be a fun little like Big Brother thing.
The number of times I would look into that fucking camera like it's The Office when you say something dumb would be excessive.
Which would be fucking gold.
It wouldn't be funny anymore.
It would be gold. Oh, it'd be great. I love it.
Like, this fucking
Sorry, yes, Amelia Emmerwing, IGN streaming editor.
I just wanted to look at the long range. I love looking at Box Office Pro long range projections.
I would actually be curious to see which has better legs in those. Somebody just said Tarot had nice legs though for like what it did. I mean, for opening where it did and where it got to. I don't know that. I don't know the final number.
Right now, they have watchers coming in with a range of 12 to 20 million opening weekend, which feels high to me. And 55 to 75 for Bad Boys Ride or Die also feels high. 80 to 110 for Inside Out 2, however, that feels attainable.
Yeah. I did, and it's terrible. I'm sorry, Kyle.
What?
Sorry, I was just answering. It's a shark movie.
Oh.
It's something in the water.
If it's a shark movie, of course this one saw it.
There is a shark movie coming out in 2 weeks, though, on Netflix called Under Paris by Xavier Gens, who made Frontiers and some other really wicked fucking French extremist horror movies. So he's doing a French, I believe it is a French shark movie set in a city where the shark is like under the canals and stuff. So I'm excited for that shit. And it's got a Netflix, it's got a Netflix release. It's not like a no budget movie, which is a lot of the complaints about shark movies today is people doing a no budget. So they literally don't have a shark. And they're like, let's make a shark movie for no money, but then not show a shark because we can't do it because we don't have the effects or the props. Don't do a fucking shark movie then. Jesus. Didn't think we'd have to say this out loud, but here we are.
You know what I think is going to do really well at the box office?
What?
Beetlejuice. Did you watch that trailer? It's a good trailer.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I like that trailer. There's just something about Beetlejuice. Maybe it's because it's one of my favorite movies of all time where literally anything that looks or sounds like the original, it gets me revved up.
Give me that.
The only thing in that trailer that I didn't like is the shot of the plane.
Oh, that's fair. Okay.
For all I like, there's certain elements of the original Beetlejuice that I don't know have like that kind of feel, and also like I'm assuming they're still going to work on some effects.
Yeah, hopefully they do.
That shot, just like I just want to pluck it out of the really good trailer.
The kind of Burton stuff, he gets quirky with that shit, and I get it.
In context, it could be like appropriate Burton quirk, but I don't know if that's the case. Right now, it just looks like a bad stock shot.
No, I'm interested in all the kinds of sequels. How many years later, and bringing people back and trying to bring a new blood into it too. I like the way they have pushed the trailer together to be a meeting of the minds of both of those. I hope that's true in the actual movie itself, and I'm just happy for more Keaton.
Yeah,
that's where we are. I'm excited for this out of pure nostalgia. I hope it lives up to what I want. Yeah. I could also be heartbroken very easily by this movie. So I think that's the reality.
I could be very heartbroken. The ones that have the highest bar for me, where there's nothing I can do. The bar is going to stay there. I can't lessen my expectations for these particular movies. It's Inside Out 2.
It's fair.
Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
And Wicked. If those three movies don't hit a certain bar, my poor heart
God,
My poor
mine is
heart.
legitimately like A Quiet Place day one because like
Yeah.
I want a banger out of that. It looks to be as good as I want.
I've
Also,
got those,
also Deadpool.
those trailers are good for
Yeah, they
A
are.
Quiet
Those
Place.
are really good too. And also, like, I'm gonna be honest, Deadpool Wolverine. Like, that for being a sequel in an MCU movie in a series of MCU movies that I feel like have underperformed, I would very much like this to be a return to like, and especially I didn't love Deadpool 2. Like, I think it was just one of those tried to do Deadpool again, but not as well.
I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Baseline though, I gave it the baseline like cool, I had fun, but I want to feel like Deadpool 1 again when I was like, oh shit, like this is hitting for me in the right way.
I would like that as well. And like that is one that I'm also hopeful about.
Soupy? Soupy?
Wiley, thank you so much, Wiley. It's good to see you. Hey, it's been a minute. Can't stay. Haven't seen the movie, but I need help. I got an opportunity to moderate a panel about music and film. Very cool. Since you guys do interviews and Perri, you're a master at this. Any tips on how to prepare? I'm trying to think of which tips to prioritize right now.
Yeah.
My favorite interview tip to give, or at least not to say is a necessity, but it's a guideline that I follow and I feel like it serves me well, is I never ask a question unless I genuinely want to know the answer to it. Yeah, and I do understand that there are some situations where, you know, especially an outlet who has to appeal to like a wider audience and make sure that the interview gives them information to want that deeper information. Like I'll always find a way to word it in a way where it will spark a stimulating answer for me as well.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I don't ask questions with that kind of enthusiasm, it's just going to fall flat.
Yeah. Like I want to have the conversations with the people that I want to listen to. I don't want to sit there and just be like, what are the basic questions that we can just get in and out for? Like, no, I want to have conversations that are engaging, that make me excited. I also like when I write my questions, if I have tangents, let's say, like if I try to anticipate somebody's answer, I want to have like 2 veer offs as well of just like, you know, just like in my notes, it'll be like main question, but then also like, if they go this way, say this. If they go this way, say this. Like that helps me a little bit.
This like, again, none of these are things you have to do. This is just what works for me. But someone the other day at a junket caught a glimpse of you like, you know what my iPad looks like at these things. Like there's a lot of questions. Everything's highlighted. I'm overly prepared always. And someone's like, you know, you don't have to do all that. I'm like, maybe I don't, but for me, I like to, because by having all of it mapped out, it makes me feel like I can play.
Oh, I map out.
Like I like maximum preparation and then not using it to not force myself to stick to the preparation, but to be able to like know my shit and jump around. I just like to have that kind of blueprint to function within, if that makes sense.
The rule I try to go by is 1 minute for one question. So like if I have a 15-minute interview, I'm going to work for 15 questions. And like that might not happen. I might only get 12 of those.
Better to play it safe.
I play it safe. And also like, this may sound dumb, but like something that helps me, like I get nervous and shit like that. Like if I have the ability, like I have a drink beforehand. Like it's all that. I'm sorry. Like
I don't think I've ever had a drink before.
The way I approach these things is like, if I ever get a little nervous about something or something like that, like it is one thing to think about someone as just being another human and just be like, yeah, they're not above us, actors and celebrities, stuff like that, where they're just a human. But like, I want to just feel like I'm sitting in a bar having a conversation with somebody. That's where I like sit down and get into it with someone for like an hour and talk.
We're so opposite. Not only have and I will never have a drink before I conduct an interview. Yeah. But I also don't drink the night before I'm doing interviews because I don't want to be hungover either. No. So I can't do either.
You know how many interviews I've been worried about throwing up on camera? Like because with a hangover, like a press day where it's like 5 people in a row, and I'm just sitting there going like,
I need my 8 hours of sleep.
No, it's great motivation to be like, all right, I got to get in, out, not throw up on the talent. We're good. We're good. One time they had to make up a hickey off my neck for Ethan Hawke.
Things
happen.
Well, Wiley,
we were young ones.
Choose a path.
We were young
ones. Report back. Let us know whose option was better for you.
Just don't overthink it. I like the reality of it though. Like the real answer and all that is like, don't overthink it. It is, you're just going to sit down and talk to somebody. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
If I could take it.
I'm anxious and I don't like people. Yeah. If you ever see me normal in a social situation, I've had a shot first.
Well, social situation is different. Like casual social.
Social conversation.
Gee, I said this to someone recently. It's so weird to me that I feel so much more comfortable sitting in front of an audience of hundreds of people moderating a conversation than I do being in like like a bar in a casual social setting. I would be much more comfortable on stage than in that bar.
It's not that the crowd stresses me out. It's not that the talent stresses me out. I just find celebrities to be normal people. It is that I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, I just want to talk. Like,
I want to talk to people in those situations, but not the normal social situations.
Yeah. No,
except for you two. We can go hang out in a corner at a party and I'll be fine.
It is just that thing of like, I don't know. I just remember so many times of just, if I can bring a beer on stage, I feel even more comfortable. I feel like it just breaks a level of tension for me that just goes away. That's just where it is.
I think about this a lot, actually. I have like a fear of needing to pee during a long interview, but also, which is, now that I'm going to say it, I'm going to have to like desperately use the bathroom in the middle of an interview, but it's never happened because I think about it in advance. Yeah. The other thing that I worry about often, because I'm a very allergic person, is having to sneeze in the middle of an interview.
Okay,
during what?
Oh, sorry.
What was that?
It was that.
Oh, okay. As long as it wasn't something that broke. You scared Rogers.
I'm sorry, Roddy.
Also dropped an expensive vacuum.
It's just the tool of it.
Did I jump scare? I don't even know. I don't know if I reacted to that. During one of my interviews that I conducted this week, one of the camera ops sneezed, and I'm like, shit, that's never happened. And I'm like, how has that never happened? Because everyone sneezes all the time. I'm just surprised it's never happened before.
Yeah. But interviews, they're fun. I love them.
Bees, peas, and sneezes.
Peas, and sneeze.
I feel like I should do a spin-off show, and it should be called that. Or that's like the title of my memoir or something. Bees, peas, and sneezes.
All right, we're at 41 minutes.
Oh fuck,
we're fine.
Wait, you were supposed to review shit.
I'll do quick reviews.
Okay,
it's fine.
Do it.
Here's my quick review for the Garfield movie.
Take this off, though.
Yeah, that's fine. Here, you didn't see Garfield, right? Okay, my thoughts on the Garfield movie are how fucking bad that thing is. It is. We need to just stop putting celebrities in voice actor roles because they are famous. Because putting Chris Pratt into the role of Garfield is one of the most ill-fitting, poor voice performances I've ever seen. Yikes. Because if you thought the whole Mario thing was bad with him just doing a slight Italian accent, he doesn't do anything to be Garfield. Garfield becomes Chris Pratt. It's not the other way around. So like, you have lost the entire essence of the character. And I know it's weird to be like, oh, you lost the essence of Garfield in a kid's movie about Garfield, but you do. And so basically they're rebooting this character we all know and love as lethargic and lazy, and like, that's the Garfield we know. And now he's basically just like a Looney Tunes character, and that's his only defining trait. He no longer, like, none of it makes sense. And it's not just him being bad voice acting, it's Samuel Jackson, it's Waddingham, it's down the board. Yikes. I don't know what happened with this movie, but it's one of those just like, oh, everyone is doing so bad at doing the voices. And I don't know if that's where the problem is in post or pre or how it gets messed up, but like, I never feel like it's more than just an advertisement than a movie. It just feels wrong. And so like, I love animated movies. I love kids movies. Like I went into this like kind of weirdly excited to be like, yeah, let's see what they can do with this. And what they did is just the base value they could with a Garfield movie, and basically just turning it into, here you go, kids, bright colors and a kitty doing silly shit. And it's bad. It's not just like forgettable. It's bright actually colors
and a silly kitty doing shit. Sounds kind of good to me, but like, I get it.
The screening we went into was a family screening, so that is adults and kids. And when I tell you it was silent for like 45 minutes, where the kids didn't even give a shit, that's this movie. It didn't even work for kids.
Kind of speaks to what you were just saying.
Yeah, Garfield was not Garfield. It literally was like, yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Before Garfield, Max Avery, who we both know, was there with his daughters, and he asked me, "Why are you seeing this?"
Well,
yeah,
we see everything.
Yeah, legitimately, that's the power of this fucking movie. Like, I'm not even gonna. It was just people left. A bunch of people actually left because the kids were so disengaged.
Okay.
Snyder was in front of us with somebody else and 2 children, and they were gone in like 10 minutes.
Oh no!
Like their kids had wanted none of it. So like, the kids were not engaged with what was happening on screen. It's like mind numbing for adults. It's like fucking just going to sleep. Basically, it's sleep medication.
I'm the easiest sap in the world. Any story about any family will make me tear up. This was trying to do that, and I felt no emotion beyond disdain. this entire film.
The writing was on the wall. I feel like because everyone's always like, oh, like you only do positive reviews now. I'm like, because like I don't have to cover everything, and I can see this shit coming, so I just don't.
I laughed exactly once.
What did you laugh at?
I don't want to say.
Fine.
In
case you ruin the one good joke for everyone. Fair enough.
Good joke, but it's Brett Goldstein.
Okay.
And it is solely because of his delivery and because it is so unexpected in that moment. And that's it.
Yeah.
So anyway, Garfield, terrible.
Oh.
Atlas, I will do again very quickly. I'm one of the only positive reviews on Atlas right now. I legitimately think it has like an 8%. It's getting eviscerated.
Oh wow!
No, 8%. It's getting
that's
Atlas.
That's really low.
Tomatoes. Let me just see. It has a 16%. We have went up on 55 reviews.
Why are we like fluttering like the light? I'm like trying because like they're all stable.
I think it's my computer. Anyway, Atlas, for those who don't know, it is a weird Netflix sci-fi movie where J-Lo is inside of this giant mech that is running around a planet. And the whole point of the movie is that there's an AI terrorist and she has to apprehend him and take him back to Earth. That's the whole movie. Most of it is J-Lo trapped inside this cockpit, acting her way through it. And there is an AI bot. There's not even a bot, sorry. There's an AI program that is powering the mech, and it needs her. She basically needs to agree with the AI system to integrate, and they can work together to survive. Or she can stay away from AI and be like, no, AI bad. So listen, number one, there are some murky messages throughout it. I'm not gonna lie about that.
That's the first thing I was gonna ask you about.
Here's the thing. I was the first person to be like, yeah, this looks like dog shit because it looks like pro-AI propaganda. And that's what a lot of people are saying. The stance I am taking, and if you would like to watch my video review on IGN, I am very proud of it because the stance I am taking is like, you have to look at this movie for what it is because it's not commenting on AI today. Today's AI is bullshit. It is untested. It is awful. It is threatening a lot of industries. And we don't know what to do with it because we're not reckoning with what it is. We're just pushing it out there because of few people in Silicon Valley spent billions of dollars on it, and now they want to make their money back. Decades from now, in a super future universe, far from now, when we have figured out how there can be a collaboration and things actually work, yes, that is where we live. So I feel like there is just that message disconnect is where it is. But what works for me is J-Lo. J-Lo is actually quite good in this movie. She sells the hell out of what she can do within the cockpit and how she can move around. And like, it's not just her sitting there and you just watch her and stuff like that. Like it feels kind of like a shrunken Pacific Rim Jaeger, let's say. Yeah. So like she's able to move around and walk.
Does it have a name?
So the AI is Smith. So hers is named Smith. Sterling K. Brown's his name's Zoe. Like they all have personalities, and like that's the thing. Like they are quite cute in this. The mechs like Zoe tries to serve J-Lo a cup of coffee, and it's a very fun scene where this like mech is like trying nervously giving a cup of coffee, and then like giggling, being like, that. "Do you like it? Do you like it?" Like yeah, that stuff works. J-Lo sells the hell out of it. I like the mech fighting when we get to it. It's not nothing fucking beautiful. It's something amazing. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's being received as like, yeah, AI is bad. I'm not arguing that. That's the thing where like, I don't think this movie is as pro AI in the instance people are saying it is versus the way people want to read it. Because yeah, we're in a time where AI is a fucking bad thing because that's what we are doing to it. This movie is commenting on it fucking far away, way away. They want the utopia version. And like, that's okay because there is a utopia version where AI can live, and I don't know. Okay, I don't know.
I can't really add to that until I see it. But
anyway, I'm one of fucking 5 positive reviews on Rotten Tomatoes.
The way you put it piques my interest a little.
Yeah, that's what it is.
We need to make sure we have a proper.
Are we doing
banner.
No spoilers first, or are we doing spoilers?
Oh yeah, we could do no spoilers first.
Sorry, I like from what you said before. I was just going with it.
I don't know why I'm having an impossible to. Oh wait, maybe my banners are in here. They are. Okay. Do you want to give your non-spoiler review while I do this?
Yeah.
While I type one word.
No, I can't. You already beat me. It's for those who want my non-spoiler take on Furiosa. Okay. You can also find my full review, which is non-spoilery, on what's my author? So that's weird. So just go to my socials and search for my Furiosa review. I tweeted it out. It's there. I liked it. I think it's good. I think it is a good little origin prequel. I also think it has some issues in the midsection. I don't love Act 2. I don't want to say much more to it, but like I feel like there is a downgrade on the visuals, and I feel like there is a struggle with the story that they are telling and the way they tell it, and it's no Fury Road. It's unfortunate that like this is following Fury Road for me, because like Fury Road is like perfect. It's up there with just one of my favorite movies of that decade. It's just what it is. I can see the seams in Furiosa where I didn't in Fury Road. And for as much as I loved Anya Taylor-Joy, as much as I loved Hemsworth doing all their stuff together, it did just feel incomplete at parts. It felt like an origin prequel that it was actually funny. My friend Lee texted me and was like, I forget what movie I said it on, but I called it downloadable content. So like when you're playing a video game and you get this cool story on top of the main game for like $20, that is a really awesome additive, but not so Pearl.
Yeah.
I kind of describe Pearl as downloadable content for X.
I
definitely agree with that. I think Lee texted me and was like, I was thinking about downloadable content the whole time I was watching Furiosa. Like it feels like a fun little add-on to Fury Road. Yeah, so that's where I stand on.
I think some of your criticisms are spot on. I think that might be extreme for me in my reaction to the movie. I liked it quite a bit. I was incredibly immersed in the world super fast all over again. I really like how the story builds the character of Furiosa via her experience with Chris Hemsworth's Dementus and how he operates. The fact that like the two of them essentially going head to head the whole movie, and her kind of restructuring her life and reformulating her priorities based on how he's processing things, I thought was very, very strong. And it ended in a place where I think it does one of the coolest things a prequel movie can do. Leave me feeling like the next movie that I've already seen and already know that I love is going to wind up being even stronger because I have this information on where she started. That was my favorite thing about the movie. In terms of the visuals, like I still have the same exact criticism that I did from the very first trailer. I think a lot of the visuals are like fucking jaw-dropping phenomenal. How do you do stunt sequences like this and capture them in camera? It's wild to me. But I think because a lot of the in-camera stuff is so spectacular, it makes it even more challenging for the visual effects artists to sell that kind of material. So in particular, the VFX elements that kept catching my eye in a not so great way is when they have the digital backdrops behind them.
Yep.
Admittedly, that tends to irk me in many movies. That is like one of the visual effects missteps that I'll clock quickest, and that really bothers me and takes me out of a movie. And that did happen quite a few times here.
Yeah, like for me, the visual stuff, it was staying non-spoilery. There were instances where in Fury Road, at least for me, everything blended well. So whenever there had to be like extra cars added or something like that in post, whatever they had to do in post, it was blended in a way where everything still felt real and I was immersed in that world, in the wasteland. Like it looked, like you just said, the practical of the wasteland looks fucking amazing. The digital of the wasteland, you have to do some work to get it in, but I feel like it worked in Fury Road, where here, there was a time where like the war rig was driving down a road somewhere, and I think it was in Bullet Farm. And like the war rig is driving, and it doesn't even feel like it's part of that scene. It feels like it is this glossy, weird, pixelated thing on top, like just they like photoshopped on top. So like that stuck out way more for me in Furiosa than that didn't happen for me in Fury Road. So like I noticed that way more here, and it felt laxer in that kind of production value.
I didn't see that in particular. I feel like my main criticism of the VFX is the backdrop stuff. That bothered me.
That's there too. No, that's there too.
That bothered me a good deal. As much as I loved the story and how much it amplifies the character of Furiosa, the one script thing that wouldn't work for me every once in a while is it did feel like it would like fast forward, and you would miss a chunk of story that based on what came before it, you were like you were driven to want, and then it wouldn't give it to you, and it would jump ahead.
I'm ready for spoilers.
Fine.
No,
All
sorry,
right.
because I agree with you, and I have a
before
specific
we put up
example.
the spoiler warning. I feel like we've just jumped into our criticisms
Sorry.
and not full praise, but I did really enjoy the ride. I found it exhilarating. I think the booming sound had me like my seat rattling. It really is a feat of a movie, even with these criticisms. And it's like one heck of a ride that I highly recommend seeing on the big screen. It's just one of those situations where, like, when your predecessor became one of my favorite movies of all time,
the predecessor is what it is.
It's impossible for me not to compare. So this is not of Fury Road level by any means, but I do really appreciate that it was a highly entertaining and riveting ride in and of itself. And I do think that all of this backstory is going to amplify my next viewing of one of my favorite movies of all time, which is something else.
Yeah, Fury Road for me is a 5 out of 5. That is one of the only perfect.
That's one of those movies that I would go back. Yeah. That and Inside Out are the two movies that I would go back in time and give perfect scores to.
Oh, geez. I don't even know if I own Fury Road. I'm sorry. I've been collecting. I literally, my Blu-ray collection is so out of date. I have to figure out what I have to buy back. Anyway, legitimately though, like for me, Fury Road is a 5 out of 5, but Furiosa for me is like a 3.5 out of 5. Like it just feels like a downgrade, and I like a lot of stuff about it. Like it's just. We got a question.
Just very quickly. I definitely don't think it's going to get Fury Road level nominations, and I don't even know if it's going to get any crafts nominations. And it's not because I don't. It's not because I don't think it's deserving. Like I do think like the costume design in it is pretty spectacular, but I fear that it coming out this point in the year, not doing well at the box office, is going to have the conversation for it fizzle out. And if you don't maintain that conversation through the year, you don't get Oscar nominations. So I don't quite see it happening here.
I don't think so.
Sound maybe. Sound might.
Okay,
might go the distance.
Maybe production design, like it is possible. Like there are parts of the production design that are next level. Like I think the world building, like again, Miller is building a world in his own terms, and I think that's a good and bad thing at the same time. It's just I want to revisit what you said about the story when you put the spoiler. Like I'm gonna do it. We're gonna do spoilers. Do you want to do before you do this? Do you want to do an outro for people who haven't seen it yet? Sorry. If you haven't seen it and are leaving,
leave. But tell people where they can find your work.
At Donatobomb, Twitter, Letterboxd, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky. Hit all those things up. I exist there. I will tweet out my work all the time. Again, latest thing I just did is all those reviews I just talked about. I have written versions of that on many sites. I have a video review of Atlas on IGN.com. I have some more video reviews and stuff coming up in the future, so look out for that. Also, podcast, Certified Forgotten, I co-host. It's fucking brilliant. So go listen to our podcast. Give us great reviews if you like us. I don't want fake shit. Like actually just, if you like it, go do it. And follow along. And I think that's everything I got for now. Donatobomb, the socials.
Do all that. Obviously I'm going to promote Ladies Night, and it's a good weekend on Ladies Night, a good week on Ladies Night for anybody who is a big Has-Been Hotel fan like I am.
And me.
And Amelia. Already up and running is a 50-minute conversation with the creator, Vivian Madrano, who is like fucking brilliant. And she just gives so much insight into her experience going from, like a kid in middle school drawing to becoming the creator of a show like Has-Been. So if you are curious about that, go watch that. And then tomorrow, there's yet another 50-minute ladies night with Charlie Morningstar herself, Erica Henningsen, who is just like a fucking ray of light. I could have talked to her for hours. Just that's awesome. Her energy is absolutely infectious. Another great conversation. So tomorrow on the Collider Ladies Night YouTube channel, go watch that. All right.
Now we're going to do spoilers. If you have not seen Furiosa, that's what's happening.
Do it.
It's going to go up. Now we're going to do spoilers. Just warning you.
I feel like you were bursting at the seams.
I was. Okay. So when you said the thing about the story feeling like it takes skips and jumps and leaps, there is a single scene to me that highlights it the most. And I know a lot of people think like it's fun that Miller is kind of being like, I don't give a shit about telling a linear story or anything like that. Like I'm just doing my own thing. Like, cool. It's rebellious. It's that. I've seen that praised. For me, it feels like a bug though, because when we get Praetorian Jack and we get him sitting there with Imperator Furiosa It's like it's just Furiosa doing her crap, and she has just basically
Furiosa doing her crap.
like she's learning the ways, but it's important because she has not become the Furiosa we know in Fury Road yet. And Jack looks, and Jack is like, all right, you're going to roll with me now. I'm going to teach you the ways. I'm going to show you how all this stuff works. And someday you are going to be the Furiosa that everyone knows you are. And the very next scene is her leaving Jack and Jack saying, you know everything. You've got it all. You've learned it all.
It's not the very next scene, but it's very close.
It's almost
very
close. It's literally minutes later.
Yeah.
And I felt like I passed out in the theater and missed an entire section of movie. Like I
understand that.
It is such an odd choice. And I get again that like, oh, it's such a cool origin because like, who cares? We don't need a montage. But at the same time, you can't have dialogue that literally says, I'm going to teach you the ways, and then jump to, you know everything. You've got it all. And like,
can't argue with that. Can't argue with that at all. I thought the first act of the movie was absolutely exceptional with young Furiosa. And I remember while I was watching that part of it, I kept thinking to myself, like, I love these movies because I love the fact that the filmmakers trust us. They don't over-explain things. They just like trust that if they put this content in our hands, we'll be able to like know it. And then that switch to like, oh fuck, like maybe you trust me too much because you're missing big portions. Like the other time that I had a little bit of a tough time wrapping my head around the time jump and not being part of what happened in between is when she jumps from young Furiosa to Anya Taylor-Joy, because like significant shit like she she runs away. How did no one look? And the other thing, it was the point where she tries to like blend in and make sure that nobody, like where she first cuts all of her hair off, and she tries to make sure everyone doesn't know who she is. And she does that stunt where she like jumps. You know what I'm talking about.
I get it. Like that is a fun
But
scene.
then soon after that, her hair is long, and no one says out loud like, "Oh, you were that kid. You know, you were that kid that we were all obsessed with." Like that's never referenced, really.
It feels like they're just putting Furiosa
in that moment. At least.
Yeah, it feels like they're putting Furiosa into important moments, but not leading them up in any way. Like it's just the way I described it in my review. It just feels like the milestones are all off key. Like something important happens, and you don't know how you got to that point, but you know it's important, so you're just in it. Like somebody just brought up the way Furiosa kind of like I kind of agree with this a little more. Like literally Furiosa just like showing up and just being like, yeah, now she's top dog, or now she's this, now she's that. And, like we just have to accept that she is just getting higher in the ranks without seeing anything happen. And again, I get it. That's cool. We're in this kind of odyssey and we don't have to see everything. But at the same time, I think it is a detriment to the film overall. Yeah. Because you do lose that structure that I think is important. And I'm there for the wildness. I'm there for the action. I'm there to like get lost in it. But you haven't given me a reason to give a shit about what's happening though at points. Yeah.
I wanted more of this too during this time period that I'm referencing, because I thought one of the most riveting scenes is when Dementus and Immortan Joe are having that conversation, and Dementus has to give her to Immortan Joe, and it's like it's a really complex beat, because you have this awareness of like how shit Immortan Joe is from Fury Road, but also like Dementus fucking sucks. Yeah. So there's this part of you that is happy that she's free of him, and there's like maybe more safety in Immortan Joe, but like Immortan Joe is bad, and then you kind of lose the ability to explore all of that complexity just because it fast forwards.
And I don't think there is any complexity. I think that's the problem.
Oh, I do. I wanted to see how she sat with and processed her moving.
I mean, in the movie, I think the movie itself does not. It's exactly what you said. It doesn't show the complexity, and that's what makes me think Furiosa is not a complex movie. Like everyone is praising how it sets up Fury Road and how it leads into it and stuff like that. But I think connecting Furiosa to Fury Road was one of the worst things it could do. Because last scene,
never mind. I'm backtracking that. I don't. No, I like that.
I do not like that last scene showing Taylor-Joy being Charlize Theron in a way. Like it is just, that was unnecessary, and it completely kind of ruined the casting for me in a way. No. I think the recasting works because if there's an age difference, it makes sense why the recasting is there. But the fact that she's literally Charlize Theron in that last scene. Why wasn't it just Charlize Theron? I like, and that makes me question the prior.
Yeah.
Hold on. I do want to answer this.
Which one?
Yeah, Dementus. I do admit Dementus fucking ruled. I think Hemsworth acts the fuck out of it.
Yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit.
But he is again, we don't get enough Dementus, in my opinion. For him to be the level of villain he is in this movie, we do not see him enough, and he just becomes like
he destroys Gastown
and we see none of it.
Bullet Farm,
Yep.
and like that's another thing where there is so much complexity to like the structure of that region and how it should collapse after he's done that, and because the movie moves so fast, we don't get to experience any of it, and I think that was also something that could have made Mad Max Fury Road even richer, is if we saw more of that, the implications of it, and how Morton Joe strives to fix it.
It has so many cool ideas.
So many.
I feel like Fury Road realizes those ideas in a better way. Fury Road actually like goes on this journey that feels forward momentum and connected, where Furiosa feels so fucking disjointed at parts. And again, I say this about a movie I like.
Disjointed is a good way to describe it.
Like, it just feels disjointed. And again, this is a movie I like. This is a movie
it's the chapter feel.
Yes,
it does.
absolutely.
It feels like chapters, but with time jumps between the chapters.
And also, I like Taylor-Joy's performance, and I actually want to see more of it. And I think having the first half be so heavily child Furiosa.
Oh, I loved her. I wanted a whole movie of her in the role.
I needed less of it.
Oh, I thought she was great.
Actually, I take it back. I needed less or more. You are right. What you just said of like a whole movie like that.
Oh, I would have watched an entire movie. I want to make sure.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pronounce that young actor's name.
Literally I was like going into it myself.
I thought she was pretty phenomenal and might have delivered my favorite performance of the entire movie. I wrote her in my tweet.
Yeah, I'll let you go for it. Then.
Oh no.
Oh, is it where's the pronunciation?
Alila Brown?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought she was excellent. I would have watched a whole movie of her trying to survive Dementus and her mother trying to rescue her, and then it ending at the end of Act 1. Like, I would watch a whole movie about that. This is another thing that I find really interesting.
Yeah,
it went away. Wait.
Which one is it?
This.
Oh, the Max cameo? Yeah.
I am shocked that is not something that's on the top of my mind. Like,
because it's so throwaway.
It was fine,
but it doesn't mean anything. It's just he's fucking hanging out there. Like,
I guess now that
cool.
I'm
This is a Mad Max movie, guys. Remember, like, even though it's called Furiosa, we gotta have Mad Max here.
This is such an interesting conversation to have because, like, I enjoyed myself watching this movie so much. I love the world building that they add, and me sitting here thinking about it more and more. Like, I love thinking about it. I loved experiencing it, but I also can't deny the fact that, you go from Fury Road, which is like the tightest of tight scripts, like so economical with dialogue and explanation and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden, I mean,
good. That's possible.
I can't. But then you go to this, which is like almost like a completely different format of a story where it's all over the place and a bajillion things are happening. It's not nearly as streamlined, but
I didn't put that together. Shit. So thanks, Movie Files. I saw Sting. Yeah. I didn't. I forgot she's the girl in Sting. I'm gonna go look that up.
Well, now I want to watch Sting.
It's not great.
Although, is it bees?
No, it's spiders.
Oh, I'll watch that.
Big old spider.
Okay.
One big spider in Sting. Lots of bigger spiders in Infested.
I'm prioritizing Infested, but I'll watch this if she's in it.
I like. That's why I came out and was like 3.5 out of 5. Like, that's the thing. That Furiosa for me was always like, I'm happy I watched that in a theater and I went on that journey, but there was drag, there was bloat, there was this film.
I don't think there is any drag.
Oh, I'm gonna go back to Act 2.
I was riveted the entire time, but while being able to recognize that pieces felt like they were missing.
Yeah, I think I'm more negative on it in tone because it is backed up against Fury Road, but.
Was there a post-credit scene?
No.
I didn't stay.
I fucking left.
The post-credit scenes were Fury Road.
Oh, really?
Well, that was during the
clips throughout the entire credits.
Oh.
No, he never does post-credits.
Yeah, I figured that, so I upped and added. What are you pulling up?
They showed him.
Huh.
She blacked out. Someone dragged her. Then she woke up with the maggot lady. Yeah.
The maggot lady.
The maggot. That was the maggot lady. There's maggots everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would describe her as the maggot lady.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Good.
I thought he was great.
Yeah, we just covered a little bit of that. Like I think Hemsworth is one of the best things of this movie. Like he's having so much fun playing.
I
this,
thought
like,
all the performances were great.
He's like this gladiatorial fucking lunatic who is, oh my god, his chariot of 3 motorcycles, the fucking 3 chopper chariot is so good. I love when he gets doused in the red too, and he becomes Dementus the Red.
Yeah,
like all that stuff is so good. Hemsworth should be doing more of those things. There was a Nux post credit scene. Okay.
Dementus saying goodbye to his crew before they split up was my favorite random part. Also, wanted more flying gang.
Oh my god, the Octo guy. Yeah, the Octo guy.
Fucking
that guy was cool.
Loved that.
The paragliders and the paramotorists.
The guy with the horn. I liked him.
Yeah, so he's not.
Yeah.
The octopus is because he's.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I liked that character a lot. Like every single time he was on screen, my eye was immediately drawn, and I loved the flying shit.
And that's the world building I do talk about that Miller does so well. It's just they aren't lunatics. They're like fucking the organic mechanic, like all that stuff. I love that Angus Sampson comes back and like he's amazing.
I enjoyed that.
But like that's what he does right. Those action sequences, which are not as dangerous this time because literally he did the most dangerous stunts in Mad Max. Like so. I'm glad they did them safer this time. We don't see as much of the flying around, but he found different ways to do them safer. Now they're all paragliding and like paramotoring. They were still enthralling, and the whole sequence on the war rig where like the attack happens.
Yeah, that was a great
like,
sequence.
It's Jack and
really great
Furiosa
sequence
against them. It's so cool. Like that stuff still works for me. So the action is still like full throttle. When it's beautiful, it's beyond beautiful. More dings against the visual animation, yes, but at the same time, like I still like being back in the wasteland. I had no problem, like if I didn't want to spend any more time in this movie there, but I want another movie still. Like it's doing everything right. It just is up against the impossible task of being a fucking origin to Fury Road,
to a fucking masterpiece,
and it's.
I'll happily throw that word out for that movie. Oh, I love that movie so much.
I would actually like more Dementus. That would be actually like go back in time even more and give me just a movie of Dementus. Like
that end scene, that conversation between the two of them is
it's
good. And like there's so much more to mine there.
Well, yeah, it is, but they did that already. So like that's done. Like we got that already. I'm talking about Dementus prior. Like I think
like how he came into power. I would watch that.
Sorry, I was just reading Andrew's comment.
Yeah, I would watch that. All right. Anything you want to add?
Max Tractor. I don't think so. Like,
okay.
Good movie. Sorry, this is this is our way of saying like it's good, not great. Sorry, you might be higher. You're higher.
I'm definitely higher. I only did a social media reaction, but I guess if I were to like score it on the Dewey Decimal movie scale, I think I would still have to go 4 Deweys out of 5 because I have to respect like the cinematic feats on display. Like there's definitely weak spots in the script in particular. And again, that particular type of use of VFX, I am usually susceptible to seeing it and getting upset by it and taken out of a movie by it. But other than that, I very much enjoyed this ride. I love the addition to Furiosa. I love the new characters that he puts in the mix. And I had a fucking blast.
I got one more question.
What?
What did you think about the Dict Tree?
The Dict Tree.
Dict Tree.
The Dict Tree. What am I thinking about?
The end of the movie. The Dict Tree.
Oh, I can't believe. Like, I guess I haven't heard anyone call it like casually a Dict Tree.
Amelia coined it the Dict Tree, and it's a.
Is that like something that's? Is that like something that's like taken off?
Has it taken off yet?
Like
we just posted our ending.
Well, there you go. It will take off because it's a fucking Dict Tree.
It's like what?
Everybody didn't immediately go.
Dict Tree.
It's a fucking Dict Tree.
Sorry, the Dick Peach Tree.
Yeah, I get it. I get it now.
It
took me a minute there.
But like literally, like that being the ending too is just one of those like, what the fuck? Like, what? I get it. Let's do some weird shit, but like,
I can't believe more people haven't like.
It's fucking Dict Tree.
Dict Tree is actually the only poetic aspect of this movie.
It was his crotch. It was grown out.
Yeah.
She said, "Give me my mom back."
Yeah.
And
Now you got a fucking tree
The
for a dick.
dick
Have fun.
I can't believe I didn't like immediately
I think
pull
so.
that.
I think it's because I did not like the movie, so by the end of it, I was just like very
Oh.
hurt and snarky. So like,
I thought that was a good. I thought that was a good ending, though.
Fucking, why is it his dick though?
I don't know what
Dick.
this says about me, but like that ending is way more satisfying than her having killed him out in the
Right.
desert.
I mean, yeah, he's
Right,
punished
and
forever.
like,
Yeah.
Like I said, like I think it's the only poetic aspect of the film for me because
Huh.
like, she stands in the desert screaming at him, "I want my past back. I want my mom back," and then. She gets a part of her mom back and she gets a part of her past back. And he's laughing at her saying it's not possible. Like, no, motherfucker, you will give it back to me. And I enjoyed that.
As a weenie haver, I understand the pain.
Weenie holder.
Sorry, weenie.
You're a weenie holder.
As a
So
wee-
he said weenie haver first and then he corrected it to weenie holder.
What,
Well, because you were laughing
what was
already.
the phrasing right after, too? I'm a holder of weenies?
Holder of weenies, yeah.
Fuck.
As someone who understands the pain in that. Yeah, no, that is the ultimate punishment. The ultimate punishment is if a dick grew out of my, or sorry, a tree. If a dick grew out of my tree. If a tree grew out of my dick, that would be awful. Yeah, that would, yeah, I'd want a bullet in my head. I don't want that. Yeah, no.
The bullet farm's gone. Can't get one.
Pour gasoline down my throat,
Like,
light me on
that's
fire.
Yeah, gas town's done, too.
Get an end.
Gas
No,
town's
I
fucked.
know.
Trapped in purgatory.
Anyway,
Well,
hashtag
on
Dict
that
Tree.
note, yeah. Hashtag Dict Tree. We're out of here. Have a good weekend.
That's literally
like,
just
I don't know what to say after that.
How do you go out on Dict Tree?
Yeah. But have a good long weekend for
That's
anyone
right. It's a
in
long
the
weekend.
States. I hope you have lots of good food and good people around you. And we will see you next weekend with another in-person Merri Hour.
Cool.
Because we'll both be here.
Forgot that was actually in person.
Goodbye.
Maybe we'll do the hot sauce. Who even knows?